Hi, welcome to the EDU Planner. This is simple scheduling software designed for students at SUNY New Paltz. I've developed the home page as kind of a landing page for people to come and see what we have to offer, and it gives a hypothetical brick of text, basically just filler that tries to entice you onto why you should come to New Paltz. However, it is very responsive. The sidebar has little links you can click on that will teleport the text to whatever line it says. So our mission will take you to the header of our mission. If we wanted to go to highlights, there we go. Right there, the only residential public university in the Mid-Hudson region. It's pretty good. It also remains very competent as it is responsive. If you were to shrink text down and make it bigger, it shrinks and grows as if, yeah, pretty good. However, let's take a look at the footer.
Once you scroll on down, you'll see the footer here. You'll see that there's academic advising, records and registration, abbreviations explained, course descriptions, graduate catalog, and undergraduate catalog all have external links that will bring you to some of New Paltz's official pages. The footer includes copyright details, the address, phone number, and email to contact someone at the university, and as well as a small description about SUNY New Paltz. And of course, it is 100% responsive.
The first thing you'll see when you enter the majors page is the animated background. This big image will immediately capture the reader's attention, and as they scroll down, they'll see the more majors and minors offered at SUNY New Paltz. The information is stored in two flex boxes and go down to the entirety of the page. The background is a gradient, and so as you scroll farther down, it gets darker and darker. We also have interdisciplinary majors and minors at the bottom as well. The footer and header are still present throughout these pages and still work as intended. So if you were to click on majors, apply, login, you would still go to the appropriate places. The footer also exists to have a link to the academic advising, records, abbreviations, all of it is still present and works as it should. The page is also very responsive. If you were to close it or minimize it in any way, the text will shrink and grow accordingly. And if you were to put the page in a closed, concise manner, they would stack on top of each other. Hi, welcome to the application information request form. This is a simple form designed to give people information on applications to SUNY New Paltz and any other SUNY New Paltz residents. This is a simple form. If you were to type your name in, it'll autofill with information that already exists in your browser or your cookies. So if I was to remove this name, it'll come up with already selected names that have been typed in other sorts of fields before. If you were to click the country name, it'll show you a drop-down menu of all the available countries that are valid and selectable for the database. And if you were to not include something, like let's say we missed our last name, if we were to try to register, it'll tell us that it's missing a field. It's actually very important to have this, as we don't want invalid information getting into the database. There's also do you consent, which is APA compliant. So if you were to click no, it has a different drop down as the yes. But otherwise, if you were to click on it, it would allow you to register it for the form.
Welcome to the EDU Planner login page. This is where we will be logging in to further access the course registration and schedule planners. You can either be logged in as a faculty, admin, or student. We will first be going on by checking the function of this login page. First, if you enter an email with no password, it says a password is required. If you do a password and no email, an email is required. If you do a correct email with a incorrect password, it says incorrect email or password. And finally, once you enter a correct email with a correct matching password, and it redirects you based on your role as either faculty, admin, or student. The credentials we enter refer students, so it redirects us to student, and the student has its own functions that only a student can use. If we log out and then we try a faculty, enter the correct matching password, and a faculty has its own different nav bar and its different functions that it can do. We will now also be checking out the sign up page. Welcome to the EDU Planner sign up page. This page will be used to create new users and grant them access to the course registration and schedule planner. To create a new user, first you must fill out all of the required fields. The only field that is not required is address 2. Second, it must be an email ending in @newpulse.edu. This is only pertaining to New Paltz students, so if it is not a @newpulse.edu email, then it will not allow you to make a new user. For example, if we wanted to make an email using Gmail and we input all the required fields, say we're a student, we'd like to register, it will not let us because it is not a valid New Paltz email address. Once again, if it is a New Paltz email address, but that user email is already taken, it still will not let us register because the email is already being used. Finally, if we'd like to create a new user, Frank New at newpulse.edu and fill out a password for him, maybe hello Frank. Okay, Frank O Learner. And for now, if we just fill this to make the process quicker, let's go United States. Okay, we'd like to make him a student, new user. Once we register Frank, it will say submission successful. Click OK and it redirects us back to the login. Once we try to log in Frank New at newpulse.edu with his correct password, hello Frank, it logs us in as a student we just created and the new user, which is Frank, and has options to use these new student functions.
I will be showing you the functionality of this website for student users. This website has two core functions for students, the creation of schedules and the viewing of daily schedules. First, let's take a look at how a student will see the calendar page when they log in for the first time. As you can see, the page tells the student you do not have any classes in your schedule. This is notice how a student does not have any classes currently in their schedule. This will quickly change though when a student begins adding classes to their schedule. Let's take a look at that process now. As you can see, when we first look at the schedule planner, the page lets the students know that they are currently enrolled in 0 credits since their schedule is empty and the list of their current classes is empty. The student begins by selecting the subject of the course they are trying to add to their schedule. For this presentation, we will be showing students adding computer science classes. Let's start by adding computer science to the schedule. As you can see, we now have 4 credits in the schedule, and the page lists us as having a course with a CRN value of 1073 currently in the schedule. Now let's take a look at how the calendar is updated in response to adding this class. As you can see while looking at the calendar page lists out the course, title, dates, time, location, professor, and credits for the student. The calendar page also arranges all this information in tables to easily show students how a certain class occurs on multiple days. Let's go look at the schedule planner to showcase how the calendar and schedule planner reacts to adding more classes to the schedule. First, I feel like we should change our computer science 3 section. Let's begin by searching up the subject and trying to find the class. Let's try adding the CRN 1105. I think I like the labs on Thursdays more. An error message just pops up saying, an error class with the same course code already exists in your schedule. Please remove the class in your schedule and try again. This tells us that the students are not allowed to be enrolled in 2 sections of the same class. Well, I'd rather be in 1105. Anyway, so let's remove 1073 from my schedule. Let's pay close attention to available seats of 1073 after we remove the class. As you can see, a new seat was made available for 1073. Does the opposite occur when we add 1105 to the schedule? We can see that it does. Available seat was taken from 1105. Now let's try for our schedule with more computer science classes. Let's add assembly language and computer architecture. CRN 1075 looks pretty promising. Now let's add a third class. Let's see what operating systems. CRN 1094 looks pretty promising as well. Now let's add a fourth class. Object-oriented programming sounds like it would come in handy. Let's add CRN 1082. Deep learning sounds like a pretty fun class. Let's see about taking that. Let's add CRN 1074. This results in an error since computer science 3 and deep learning occur at the same time, resulting in time conflict. Let's take another course instead. I really want to take software engineering too. It sounds like a super fun class. Let's add CRN 1095. I have a pretty big schedule right now at 18 credits, but I think I want one more. Let me try to add a language processing course. CRN 1080 sounds like it would fit. This error message pops up whenever student schedules surpasses 20 credits, warning a student that they should contact an advisor for special approval to proceed with adding more classes. Now that we've added all these classes, let's see what the counter will look like for a student after adding all these classes. As you can see, the counter is able to put all these classes in an order of time for all that they occur and keeping everything well managed. Now let's look at the back end. How a faculty member adds all these classes. To log in as a teacher, you must first enter some teacher login credentials, so I'll do that now. Professors using this page can view their current classes and add new classes that they wish to instruct. Whenever a professor adds a new class, it goes to the course database, so students can immediately start adding that class to the schedule. Let's look at the current classes Denizard is instructing. As we can see, this table lets us know that Denizard is currently instructing a class with a CRN value of 1095. Course code is CPS353 and the class is Software Engineering. It's fully seated with 3 credits during a normal spring session from 5 p.m. until 7:50 p.m. And it is instructed in Humanities 118 with 35 available seats. Let's now try creating a class to see how this table changes. Let's create another section of Software Engineering. To start, we will select the subject and course values that match Software Engineering. Since this will be another section of Software Engineering, let's add a section value of 2. Let's pick the instructional method of fully seated again for this course, and let's have it occur in Science Hall 181, the room we're currently in. Let's pick the days that the course occurs on. Wednesday sounds like a good day. Let's instead have the class go from 2 p.m. until 4:45 p.m. Let's have the course run from the normal start date of January 22nd until May 17th. Let's add a similar class size of 35 seats. We are sure they want to create this class, so we need to tick yes and press Create Class. This mission was successful, telling us that the course should now be in the database. We should double check this by looking at the Your Courses page again. As you can see, the table is now displaying both classes that Denizard is now indicated as instructing, allowing students to now sign up for this class immediately.
Hi. So for my part of the project, I worked on the About Us page, which shows off our team and what we contributed and how you can contact us. So each member of the team is divided into their own HTML card, which looks very pretty. So for example, as you can see, here's me. And you can see a quick description of how I contributed to the project. So I was a database schema designer, for example, and I also did the HTML and CSS for this page. And here's the email address for contacting us. If someone wanted to contact us for whatever reason, you could see all of our emails. Max did CSS, HTML, homepage fixes, lots of housekeeping. Angel, JC, and Ramses all did PHP, HTML, and more website stuff to help contribute to the project. And yeah, that's about it.
So at the login screen, if you log in with admin credentials, you will automatically be redirected to the admin page. You will be greeted by an admin landing page letting you know that you're an admin. From here, you can create user, manage faculty, and manage classes, and you can log out. So some information that you need in order to create a user: you need an email, a password, a first name, middle name, a last name, an address, the city, the state, the zip code, the country, and the phone number. It'll ask you what position you are at the university and if you want to make a new user. After doing that, you can also manage the faculty and staff. In order to declutter, you can look up the first and last name of the faculty member. Then after that, you can go ahead and manage your classes. So to start off, to create a course, it'll ask you what kind of subject it is, if it's undergrad or grad, the course level, the title of the course, how many credits it's going to be, and the attributes. And then it'll ask you for confirmation if you want to create this new class. And then you'll get a pop-up saying that the submission is successful. And then after that, you can log out. And that concludes our project. Thank you.